In this video, I'm going to show you how to sign into Google. You sign into Google the same way you would sign into pretty much all of our other apps. Or if you're not on a Chromebook, it will require you to sign in using your entire username as well as the domain. So basically your email address, your username at kcpublicschools.org. Chromebook, the at kcpublicschools.org is already be there for you. So you just have to put in your username and your password. And once you do that on a Chromebook, you'll be signed into all Google products. Before you can use Google Classroom or anything else Google, you will sign in. On an iPad, it will look a little bit different. You'll have to click the app to sign in as opposed to going to your browser, but you can sign into the browser as well. To sign in, the sign in button. Now it's going to already give you a list of accounts you previously used. If you're on a regular computer, again, if you're on a Chromebook, you're already signed in. Let's go ahead and act like we've never used this account before. So I'll go with this student. So again, the format is first name, letter of the last name, last four numbers of the student's ID. Again, if you're signing into a Chromebook, this is good enough. You don't need the at kcpublicschools.org. But if for any reason you're in a different browser on a different device, you're using your home computer or whatever, this is where you would have to finish it with kcpublicschools.org. Now, if you've been in the district before, it used to be at kcmsd.net to get into Google. That is gone. And don't use it ever again. Luckily, we are now one domain for everything at kcpublicschools.org. To get into Microsoft, to get into Google, to check your email, to do anything, it's all at kcpublicschools.org as of now. Once you have your username typed in, and again, you have the at or don't have the at depending on what you're signing into. But to get into Google, again, the next button, then you can put in your password. This one's already saved. Show you, and you just type it in, and it's going to be your 8-digit birthday. Make sure you put in that 20. So 2-digit month, 2-digit date, and then 4-digit year. Hit the next button. Now you're signed into Google. You know you're signed in because if you have a profile picture, you'll see your picture. If you don't have a picture, it'll just show you the first letter of your name, and then it'll even tell you if you put it over the top of it that you're signed in. Next to that profile picture or initial, you'll see all of your Google apps. One of those is Classroom. Now, again, if you're on an iPad, you'll just have those apps, somewhere on the iPad. And if you're on a Chromebook, you'll have all the apps kind of after you hit that little circle button in the corner, or you have some of your apps down here right in the middle. So depending on what device you're using, but once you're signed into Google, it should be the same on the iPad. Once you're signed into Google on the iPad, you should have access to all the Google apps on an iPad. When you're signed into your Chromebook, since the Chromebook is a Google product, you're signed into all the Google products on the Chromebook. And if you're just using a regular old laptop or Windows device, once you're signed into Google on that, you should also be signed into all of the other Google products. Now that we're signed into Google, we'll bounce over to Classroom. And now we're in Classroom. If you've been there before, you're already signed into some classes. If you've never been there before, this is where you can now join your teacher's classroom.